So in the yesterday's session, we were seeing on how to import info cubes, DSOs, and info objects. And also we've seen how to create a composite provider in the HANA Studio using BW plugin. So we'll continue further to create Open ODS view. So let's click Start. I click on HANA Studio. So composite providers are basically used to combine or join So let me close everything and reopen it again. So now we are the Project Explorer in the BW modeling. So let us expand the folder. And once you expand, it'll ask you the username and password. So let us enter the username and password. So once we expand, so here you see info providers and SAP HANA System Library. Just right click and click refresh. So make sure that here we see the green color highlighted to see system is active. Let us expand info providers. So on the info provider, let me right click and click new and click on Open ODS view. So once we click on Open ODS view, so we can give a name. So Open ODS view, basically you can access data store objects, data sources, or database tables or views from HANA, or even the third-party systems by using SAP Smart Data Access or Data Store Objects Advanced. So let me select one of the source. Let me select data source. And we're accessing transaction data. I'm just giving a technical name, ZODS underscore ZODS 10 is the technical name. I'm providing the description. So let us select the data source. So data source, you can select any of the data source. So all these are different data sources. So let us select ZDS1 from this is the source system and click finish. So once you click finish, so an open ODS view is nothing but a view. So based on source fields, now all these are the columns from the source and these are the view fields. This is just like a DSO. Open ODS view is just like a DSO object. Once we check and click on activate. So it doesn't need metadata. Normally for a DSO, for a data store object that we create in BW requires some metadata. Like we need to create these info objects. But these info objects like characteristics and measures are created in runtime. So here you can see the OpenODS view. The same OpenODS view, ZODS10, is what we just created, ZODS10. So the same ODS view is also available on the BW system. So let me log on to BW system. Let us log on to BW. Just go to the T code RSA1. Click on the info provider. Let us click on the info area, click find, and search for ZODS10, ZODS10, and click search. So once you click on search, so here you see ZODS10 that is created here. Expand this. So this is the data source. So if you right click on the view and display data, click on display data. So this object is created in runtime. So all the metadata, all the columns, BUKRS, MATNR, all these columns are created in runtime. So we haven't created manually. All these objects are created in runtime. And this is the data that it is trying to access from source system. So what I'm trying to say over here is BW modeling like composite providers, OpenODS views can also be created from HANA Studio using the BW plugin. You see BW model plugin. So here you can create these objects. And also the same objects can be also created on the BW application layer. And right click on the info area, click on create OpenODS view. So from here also we can create these objects. So first thing, when I started to discuss about BW powered by HANA, we started to import objects, info cubes, DSOs. Info cubes are imported as analytic views, and DSOs are imported as analytic views. Attribute views are info objects are imported as attribute views as well as analytic views if you mark them as info providers. And later I was trying to show you how we can create data models from the HANA Studio using the composite provider and OpenODS view. So one thing is, now BW, as you know, it's an enterprise data warehousing system. BW is an enterprise data warehousing system. It's an application layer. Underneath the application layer called BW, we have a database called HANA. So yesterday we tried to see these objects are imported to HANA. Now in a similar fashion, we can also expose HANA objects to BW. Vice versa. BW objects to HANA and HANA objects to BW. In order to access HANA objects to BW, we have a transaction code that is rsdd underscore hm underscore publish. rsdd underscore hm underscore publish. So to access HANA objects to BW. So this is called as transient provider. So if you go back to data warehousing workbench modeling, click back and enter the T code rsdd underscore hm underscore publish and click enter. So here you see publish SAP HANA model. So it's asking us to provide the package and what HANA model you'd like to access over here. So if you go back to HANA Studio, let us go to HANA Modeler Perspective. Click on HANA Modeler Perspective. Expand Instance. Expand Content. Once you expand the content folder, let me go to a package. So hope everyone is able to hear me. Is there any difficulty for anyone to hear me? Just in case. Because one participant is having some difficulty. Okay, thank you. So it's fine. So now I'll just try to show you end-to-end scenario on how to access these views from HANA to BW. So if you go to the catalog, let us go to the catalog folder and let's go to the schema. Let's go to the schema, HANA user schema. And if you expand the schema, so let me right click and create a table. Let us create one table manually, or even you can import tables using files. So let us click on new table and let me give the name for a table. Z VBAK 78. I'm just creating a table. I'm just trying to specify a few columns in the table. So I'm giving the name and then I'm specifying few columns in a table. Let's click execute. The table is created. So let me filter on this table. Let me copy this table. Right click on tables folder and let me filter. Give the table name. Click whole word and click OK. And here you see the table. Right click on the table and click generate and click on insert statement. So once you click on insert statement, let us enter values in this table. Say 10, 1000. I'm just trying to enter few values into the table. So let me enter a few more values. And click execute. So now when I right click on the table and open data preview, Here we see the table has two entries that we just inserted. Now based on this table, I go create an analytic view. So I'll right click on the content, click new, create a new package. Let me say BW 89. I'm just specifying a package called BW 89 and click OK. So we created a table, we created a new package called BW 89, and then here we see the package. Now let me right click on the package, new, and let's create an analytic view. So I'll name this analytic view as JetVBAK89. I'll just name this table view and click finish. So once we finish, let me insert a table in the data foundation. Let us insert a table. So it is JetVBAK78 is the table name that we just created, and click OK. So once you click OK, you can select the required columns from the table. I'm just trying to select the required columns from table. And finally in the semantics, I'll validate and activate. So now a new analytic view is created. Once I save and activate, the view is created. Let me right click on the view and data preview. So this is the view that we just created. And this is the output of the view. So this view, which is JetVBAK89, I'll go to BW now. I'll go to the BW system, and the T code is rsdd underscore hm underscore publish. So in this transaction code, now I will try to access the package in the view. I'll try to access the package in the view. So the package is, click on the package. The name of the package here is BW89. Give the package name and give the view name. View name is JetVBAK89. So once you give the package and the HANA model, click create. So it says doesn't exist. Let me check here. What is the view name? JetVBAK89. Let me access from here. JetVBAK89. So once you provide the package and the information view, now I'm accessing from the BW application layer and click create. Once we click create, it's creating an analytic index. This analytic index is nothing but, this is known as transient provider. So these transient providers are directly created on the production system in BW. We can create these transient providers on the BW system directly on the production system for rapid prototyping. You can click continue. Once we click continue, so this is the info provider name. It has @3. It prefixes with @3, and this is the description of the info provider. Once we click on characteristics, so these are the characteristics that BW is creating based on the HANA view. And also once you click on the key figures, now this is the measure. So this is the master data and this one is the measure. And finally click save. Now once you save, now here you see analytic index JetVBAK89 has been saved. Now directly on this analytic index, so now an analytic index is created on the BW system. So this is what an analytic index is created. Now here you have an analytic view. So based on this analytic view, it created an analytic index on the BW system. Now based on this view, you can publish to BW reporting. So indirectly, the reporting in the BW is trying to access HANA data models using the transient provider. The T code is rsdd_hm_publish. So now when I go back, so this is the analytic index that is created. I'm trying to access this analytic index. Click Start, click All Program, click on Business Explorer. This is the BW reporting tool, Business Explorer, and click on the Analyzer. Click on the Analyzer. Click Run. You can analyze data using the Analyzer. So once you click on the Analyzer, so here you see there is an add-in. Click on the add-in. Click on Open. Open Query. When you click on Open Query and double click on the BW system, it's asking you for the username and the password. Password is S capital URYA 1234 and click OK. So once you click OK, now you can access the transient providers. So here there's a dialog box that is opened over here. So in order to access the transient provider, click Find, copy paste the technical name. So search in the technical name and click Find. This is trying to search. So what we are doing now, basically we are trying to create a report using an analyzer on top of this transient provider. And transient provider we created on the application layer. This transient provider is accessing the information view. So because you see directly the query cannot access the view. A query cannot access the view directly. It has to access using the BW application layer. So that is why we created another layer. Based on this layer, the query designer can access this view. So here you see now this is the transient provider BW89 package and JetVBAK89 and click open. So once you click open, just click on filters, double click on BUKRS, and double click on VBLN. Now you see BUKRS VBLN. So BUKRS So the same result that you see on the BW application layer. So this is on the BW reporting, and this one is in the HANA system. So we are accessing on the BW reporting. So these transient providers can only be created on the production system. These cannot be transportable. We cannot transport them because it's an index. So we cannot transport from development to quality and quality to production. Directly we have to create these on the production system. So this is one way to access HANA models in BW. So this approach is transient provider, using a transient provider. And you can also access HANA views in another way, which is also known as using virtual providers. You can access using a virtual provider. So virtual providers are cube-like structures, but they don't contain data. The data has to be accessed in runtime. But the difference between a transient provider and a virtual provider. What is the difference between a transient provider and a virtual provider is, in transient provider we did not create metadata. We did not create info objects. But in virtual provider, we have to maintain the metadata on the BW application layer. Like we need to create info objects. So the metadata management is done on the BW layer for the virtual providers. So all these topics that I am trying to explain is relevant with integration with HANA. How BW is integrated to HANA. So if I go back to HANA, just to BW, click back and go to the T code RSA1 and click enter. So if you just click on any info area, right click and create. You see here there is an object called create virtual provider. When you click on create virtual provider, you see these virtual providers. You see there is an option called based on HANA model. So before I go create this virtual provider based on HANA model, we need to create the metadata. Means we need to create info objects. So I'll go to the info objects and I'll try to create two info objects or three info objects. So I'll just expand. These are known as info areas. If you expand the info areas, you see these are basically called catalogs, where they can group bunch of info objects. Just right click on a catalog, click create info object. So I'm just trying to create columns for the columns that are available in HANA. So in HANA, what columns we have? VBLN, BUKRS, VV010. I'll just try to create these info objects here based on the fields that are available in HANA or attributes. So JVBL. I'll take VBL, which is VBLN. Click continue. So data type, we need to specify the type. Let us take it as char, and the length is 10. And let us activate the object. So we created one for VBLN. And let us also create for the second one, which is for BUKRS. Let me right click on the folder again, create info object, and let us give the name ZBUKRS, or let's say ZBUK1, which is ZBUKRS. Click continue, and let us give the data type char, and the length is 10, and click activate. So here we created two info objects for two attributes that are available in HANA. So we created for VBLN and BUKRS. Now let us create for the measure, which is VV010. So I'll go back. So these are known as key figures in BW. Attributes are known as characteristics, and measures are known as key figures. Let me right click on the key figure folder, create info object. So let me specify the name for this, ZVV01. I'll take VV0, and I'll take the description as ZVV010. Click continue. So this is amount related column. I'll take it as amount related column. I'll give fixed currency. I'll take it as USD as fixed currency, and activate this. So once we have done this, now, so how many objects we created? 3 objects. One is ZVBL, the second one is ZBUK1, and the third one is ZVV0. So we created 3 columns. So now, based on this technical information from BW, I'll go to the info providers, right click on any info area, and click on create virtual provider. I'll just name this as Z Sales Virtual Provider. So highlight, select based on HANA model, click on details, and let us select the package. So what package you want to access from HANA? So I would like to access Z. What's that? BW89. Click continue. So it's case sensitive. So this is selecting the package and the view, from this package, which is ZBBK89, and click continue. and finally click create. So once we click create, now the object is created. The virtual provider is created, but we need to enter the metadata. So in the dimension 1, let us right click on the dimension 1 and click info object direct input, and let us enter these characteristics. Let us enter these characteristics. Click continue, and in the key figures, let us select the measure. Right click on the key figures folder, click info object direct input, and copy paste the name and click continue. So in here you have both these dimensions, and here you see the measure. So finally, now we need to map these columns to HANA columns, HANA information view, attributes and measures. So in order to map these objects with HANA, right click on the info object and click on provided specific properties. Click on provided specific properties, and then in the attribute name, select BUKRS. I'm just trying to map HANA columns, HANA attributes with BW info objects. In a similar fashion, also let us map the second one. Right click, provided specific properties, with the attribute name, and select ZVBLN. Click continue, and right click on the measure, provided specific properties, and give the name of the measure, BW10, and click continue. So in this way we mapped BW objects with HANA objects. So once we map, finally click activate and click continue. Click yes. So now we created the container in BW. Once we created the container we tried to map with HANA container. We done the mapping. So once you've done the mapping, now you may just right click on the cube and click display data. Once you click display data, click field selection for output, BUKRS, VBLN, and VV010, the measure. Click execute and execute. And finally here you see the data that is inside, that you're trying to access in runtime. So if I basically again go to HANA and I'll go to the catalog. I'll go to the catalog and insert one more record. Let's go to the catalog. Let's go to HANA user schema. Let me right click on the table. Click on generate. Click on insert statement. And then enter the values, which is say 300, 399, 45, 4, and click execute. So once we click execute, now we entered one record in the table. So now on the BW, when you click back, click execute again. It got disconnected. Let me log into BW again. Got disconnected. Let me log in again. So here you see there's a new record that is inserted, 45,399 and 1, which we just inserted over here. So in this way, you can create a virtual provider based on HANA models. So virtual providers are more stable than transient providers. They can be enabled for authorizations. So transient providers are basically created for ad hoc reporting or rapid prototyping. Virtual providers, the first advantage of virtual provider is the metadata is maintained on the BW system consistently. The second advantage is you can have analysis authorizations. So you can control data using a virtual provider. So because all the users cannot see all the data from the cube or the virtual provider. So there should be some place where the data is controlled, and that control of data is done in analysis authorizations in the BW system. That will be taken care by the BW security team. So transient providers, you can access HANA views. Virtual providers can also be accessing HANA views. So yesterday, the cubes can be imported into HANA as analytic views. DSOs can be imported as analytic views. Info objects can be imported as attribute views, and even analytic views for reporting. And also for BW related models, you can create in the HANA Studio. In the BW plugin, we created a composite provider, and also we created Open ODS view. So this is basically, it enables us to do mixed modeling. You can mix data models, BW models in HANA and HANA models in BW. It enables us to do mixed modeling. So that is the advantage of BW powered by SAP HANA. If you have any questions for today's session, please ask me. Any questions for today's session?